You guys, this first thing that I'm gonna talk about, I'm just a little embarrassed I didn't start doing it sooner because it's so simple and so effective. Hey everybody, it's Kate. Welcome back to the channel. You always ask me, what am I doing that's new? Did you change anything in your routine? Do you have a new ritual? And I do. So number one, I have started getting 10,000 steps in a day. People have been saying this for a long time. Get your 10,000 steps in a day. Make sure you get your 10,000 steps in a day. And I was like, why is 10,000 steps so magical? Why 10,000? And it didn't quite affect me until I said, you know what? I'm going to try this. Why would I even try this? This is why. I have had a very bad physical and mental health season. This winter, even beginning of fall into winter, I was catching everything. I was not taking good care of myself, and I felt terrible physically and mentally, and something had to change. If anybody's in that boat right now where you're feeling like you just can't get going, you're exhausted on the weekends because all you've done is work your butt off the whole week, you have all your tasks to do on the weekends, you still want to have fun, you still want to maintain the house, you want to rest, there's like so many things you want to get done, but you don't have the energy to do it. 10K steps a day has changed this for me. The biggest things that doing this change, this new daily ritual for me, is my mood is way better and my energy level has increased. And that is what I needed because I was a lump on a log, a slug in my bed. I was just couch rotting with any spare time I had because I had nothing left in the tank. And if this sounds familiar to you, you might be thinking, well, I'm too busy for 10K steps, or I don't have the energy for 10K steps. And you're right. And you won't until you start doing it. Kind of like budgeting, right? You don't have the time to budget. You don't have the energy to budget. But once you start doing it and it becomes a part of your daily, your monthly routine, and you start getting results, well then, friend, you start getting results and then you see the importance of it. The same thing with this. If I hadn't started walking, I wouldn't know the magic of it. And it's so simple. But barring any, of course, extreme situation, medical, where you can't walk, for all those that can, but don't put in the effort yet. Maybe you think you have to spend hours in the gym. Maybe you think, all the things, you have to go to spin class. If you're just looking to get moving, just start walking. And if you can't start doing 10K steps a day, start with half. I didn't know how little steps I was getting. And I have a MyFitnessPal on my phone where I used to track calories, where I used to track my steps and my sleep. But I didn't always have my phone on me, so I wasn't getting an accurate count really. So about a month ago, I was starting my 10K journey and I was just missing a bunch of steps. So I bit the bullet because I was trying to be cheap. I was trying to be frugal and I was just going to use my phone, but I ended up getting a Fitbit and I love it. It's just made everything so much easier that I don't have to worry about my phone, and it's on me at all times, right? If you want this Fitbit, I'm just going to leave the link down below. It's just, my big things is I wanted to count steps and I wanted to ensure I was getting my 8 hours of sleep. This thing does the trick. It's not super fancy. I know a lot of you guys have iWatches, and I love Apple products, but I don't want an iWatch. I don't want that. And I know you can adjust notifications, but I don't want that on me all the time. I don't want to be available all the time. It's just, I'm not interested in that right now. I just need a simple tool, track my steps, track my sleep. If you don't know how many steps you're currently getting, guys, when I started looking at how many steps I was getting without putting in any effort, it was not a lot. I have a sedentary office job, right? I'm in a school. I'm on my computer. The printer is 2 feet away. My files are 3 feet away. And that's where I was all day, And I didn't even realize, you're barely moving. And I had to make an extra effort. 10,000 steps. If you can't do 10,000, start wherever you can start and keep increasing. Walking is free. You don't need a fancy gym membership, but the thing is, you have to do it daily. I have a very thin, fit family member, and I was talking to her the other day because she's so active. She has so much energy. And I said, how do you have so much energy? She's like, well, first of all, I eat right, but second of all, I move my body. And I said, okay, so like, how many times a week? And she kind of looked at me like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, how many days a week do you exercise? And she's like, every day. And I said, like a full on like workout? She's like, well, not always. No, she said, but I walk every day. Every day I make an effort to walk every single day. I'm like, well, what if it's too cold? Because, we live in Maine, it's cold. She's like, oh, that's actually my favorite time to walk. I'll get my hat, like that mask thing, gloves, heavy clothes, and I will walk. And that's not a problem. I was like, oh, okay. What if it rains though? And she was like, what do you mean, what if it rains? I'm like, if it's raining, you can't walk. And she goes, I put on a raincoat. I don't know why that just made me laugh because I'm like, we're always like making excuses. Well, it's raining. Well, it's too cold. Well, the wind is too. And here she is just living her best life. She doesn't make excuses. She just goes out there and does it. And that does not hinder her, And I know we all have, things in our way, but like in the end, guys, it's going to make you feel so good. 10K a day, my daily routine. And now let's move on to number 2. Those of you who know, I'm a huge coffee lover, been drinking coffee for years, and I used to have to do 2 cups a day. The first cup of the day was like I'm the Tin Man in the movie The Wizard of Oz, like this is me in the morning. And the first cup was like, just getting the joints loosened up a little bit. And then the second was like the real cup. You know what I mean? The first one was like the pregame, and the second one was the strong finish. But with prices rising everywhere in certain places, I decided I was going to just cut that in half. I enjoy a delicious cup of coffee in the morning, but I don't really need 2, I discovered. I thought I needed 2. I don't. I just need 1. And it's really more, I feel like, even about the ritual, but also it's because I'm walking now every day and I don't wake up. There was a period this winter when the alarm would go off and I actually felt like I can't go. I can't go. I feel so terrible. And I need coffee the size of my head because I couldn't get going. I was not taking care of myself, etc. Now that I'm walking every day, I'm getting my 8 hours of sleep. You guys, if you're not getting your sleep, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be your mom, but it's worth it. Make the extra effort. Go to bed a little earlier. Set an alarm when it's time to get ready for bed so you don't forget. You don't get caught up doing other stuff. I have a bedtime alarm. Hey, Kate, go to bed. It helps. Everything helps, right? But as far as the coffee goes, I decided to cut this in half. So now I do have my 1 beautiful, delicious cup in the morning, and that's it. And I'm good. So if you think about that, right? I buy my coffee at home, of course. I don't go get it. So I'm already saving money by not doing that. But then now I've cut my amount in half. So a coffee supply that I normally would get lasts me twice as long now. I still get that pleasure of that morning ritual while I'm looking at my budget. You guys know my budget buddies in the morning, right? I get up, I drink that coffee, I look at my budget, I make sure everything's where it needs to be. I just got an eye on it so I can keep an eye on the prize. And that's all I need. 1 cup a day, 10K steps a day. That's 2 new things I'm doing that has helped saving money, but also feeling good, which is it's just so important, you guys. If you want to feel good, start walking. I don't know what you're doing with coffee. Guys, let me know. Have you given up coffee? Are you still drinking coffee? I know some people that have it on tap the whole day long, the whole day. No judgment, no judgment. You guys know I'm not giving you any judgment here, but let me know below. Do you drink coffee? And if so, how much? How many cups a day? Next up, I am snacking way less. Now, this is helpful for my groceries, right? Because back in the day, I was a processed food purchaser, a lot of processed foods, a lot of snacks, a lot of chips, a lot of prepackaged stuff. Growing up, it was all about sugary cereals and Pop-Tart era and all that stuff. And, sometimes old habits die hard. But what I've been doing lately, I have been decreasing my snacks. And I don't miss it at all. What I'm doing instead, Kate, how are you not snacking? Isn't snacking good? Is it? I don't know. What I do instead is I create a meal with all the nutrients I need so that I'm full and satisfied after the meal, and I don't have to snack after because I didn't get what I needed during the meal. That's what's happening for me. So, I ate a bowl of cereal, which you guys know. I'm like Seinfeld. I could eat cereal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you just let me. You know what I mean? And it was okay. But the fact of the matter is, after I eat a bowl of cereal, within 20 minutes, I'm starving. I need something else. It didn't do the trick. Why? Because I ate a bowl of Reese's peanut butter puffs and there was no nutrients and I got nothing. My body's like, hello, where's the rest? So now if I have a bowl of ground turkey, half a cup of cottage cheese, some avocado, maybe a cup of strawberries to kind of end with the meal, you know what I mean? I am stuffed at the end. My body said, oh, Kate, thank you for all that. Nutrients received. We're good for a bit. Go live your life. Don't let food center your whole day. Like, go prosper. You've got the nutrients you needed. I'm good. Let's go take a walk. Let's go take care of the stuff we need to. Let's make a video for the K Squad. But if you don't eat what you need to eat during the meals, your body's like, hey, me again. Didn't get what I needed. Does that make sense? That's what it feels like. So now when I just make foods that's more whole foods, it's, I love also like chicken, vegetables, maybe a little potato. When I'm done with that, I have eaten and my body is happy versus, all the other stuff that's not going to fill you up and your body is going to be lacking the stuff it needs. And then you overeat and you need to buy all the snack stuff and then you're never satisfied. So that's just my new thing. So far, I feel really good about it. And I know a lot of people probably already eat like that, but sometimes it takes me a minute, guys. Old habits die hard. You got to make some small changes for big wins over time, but sometimes it doesn't click until it clicks. Okay, let's do a recap. 1, I'm walking 10K steps a day. And I just want to add to that right now. If you think you don't have time for that, if time is your concern, right? I just want to remind you, I work a full-time job. Like, I think sometimes when people give you advice and they either have a different work situation than me, perhaps a stay-at-home mom, which still has a ton of work to do, but maybe more flexibility in the schedule, or a work-from-home mom who has, again, a little bit more flexibility when they can do the other things, right? Me, I am locked in at a place for 40 hours a week, right? And then, I have a second job. I teach about 5 dance classes a week. I also run this channel by myself with the loving support of my son, who is amazing, but it's just me. So, and then I'm also a daughter. I'm also a sister. I'm also a friend. So I get how we don't have time, but you want to feel good, you want to have energy, or not. You know what I mean? The biggest time swap that I've done is me walking and scrolling and listening to YouTube and, doing my social media, listening, scroll hole while I'm walking versus sitting on my bottom at home. I don't think people realize how much time they spend on social media. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but let's combine the two things. You want to listen to my new video? Go for a walk around the neighborhood. Put your headphones in. I'll be right there with you. We'll be trekking along. We'll be talking about this stuff. Try to do two things, like a mindless thing with like a pleasurable thing. Walking. You're on autopilot, but you're also enjoying, hopefully, the content that you're listening to. I try to do it usually after work. As it's getting lighter out here, now we've got daylight savings going on. Like, I have the possibility of possibly doing maybe a shorter walk in the morning, but lately I've been trying to do it in the afternoons because it's gorgeous out and I'm just loving that. You can also break it up. You can do 30 minutes in the morning. You can do 30 minutes after lunch. You can do 30 minutes after dinner. Whatever works for you, okay? Just the point is, find a way, make a way. Number 2, the coffee thing. This might not even be an issue with you. You might not drink coffee at all. But for me, I've reduced my 2 cups to 1. Is there probably a day that I will do 2 if I really want it? Yeah. But for the most part, 1. Or maybe there's a day where I don't have 1 at all. It's never like, 100% all the time. But in general, my 1 cup a day is decreasing my intake, and it's going to save me money in the long run because I'm buying half the coffee, right? And then the last thing, talking about snacking less, this might help you in the groceries in the long run. Because in general, right, we should be eating these, satiating meals anyway. If you do that, you probably don't have to buy as much filler stuff in between. So it might help your grocery bill. I'm really enjoying that, right? Focus on the stuff that's going to give your body the most value. Still have something that is not always perfectly nutritious, at times as special occasions. But I think when we take it out of our daily routine, it's just going to benefit your body so much more and your mind. I feel better. I have more energy because of these 3 things that I'm sharing with you that I've just adjusted over the last month. The coffee thing might have been a little bit more than a month, but the walking definitely, and the snacking definitely just over the last month. Would you do me a favor and in the comments, leave me down below something that you do daily? Maybe it's a little weird, quirky thing that might seem insignificant to anyone, but you do it, you swear by it, and you think that that is the thing that helps your days be better. Let us know. I love hearing these things from you. Let us know in the comments, what do you do that is consistent? You do it every day that we need to know about. I can't wait to read the comments. You want to talk a little bit more about things I consistently do? I would love to keep talking about it. I'm going to leave a video for you right here next on things that I consistently do to save money. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.